Diamondlot, The Diamond Squad. By Eric Waugh. Chapter 37. The Four United. The Mad King had to worry about Nathan from the front line and Ryan attacking him from afar. Then there was the anomaly of Bella, whose presence he couldn't detect. He was perplexed as to why he couldn't sense her at all when he could easily detect everyone else's aura. As he was pondering about Bella's presence, Ryan gave Nathan some cover fire by launching some arrows towards the king. Nathan's sneak attack didn't work as the Mad King grabbed him in midair. He held him in front, using him as a shield, forcing Ryan to cease his fire. In his hesitation, the Mad King grabbed Nathan's giant sword and threw it at Ryan. He managed to avoid taking the full hit, but the impact sent him against the castle wall. With Ryan out of the picture, the Mad King was about to use his dark magic against Nathan. However, Bella charged in with her spear to interfere. Again, the Mad King was caught by surprise as he couldn't sense her attack, forcing him to drop Nathan. Bella was ready to fight him by herself, but the Mad King began applauding her. He spoke to Bella, saying some words that made her question her identity. Charlotte tried to tell Bella not to listen, but she had to know. She fought the Mad King, demanding him to tell her, and slowly he told her everything. No one else could hear them, but throughout the fight, Bella was becoming more distracted. Eventually, he was able to place one of his hands on Bella's shoulder and cast a spell that caused her to faint on the ground. Seeing his friend lying unconscious, Nathan picked up his sword and charged recklessly at the Mad King. Charlotte knew she couldn't let him fight alone, so she forced herself up and attacked as well. In unison, Charlotte and Nathan attempted to strike the Mad King, but his magic sent them both slamming against the walls. With both of them wounded, the Mad King slowly made his way towards Nathan. He was ready to pick Nathan up by his throat, but before his hand could reach, Zayd dashed in and pulled Nathan to safety. He then returned to the battlefield ready to fight the Mad King, and he wasn't alone. Standing behind him were the other three warriors who shared the legendary warrior's soul: Annabelle, Nas, and Ryan. The Mad King saw the four warriors with all their marks glowing, indicating that they were using their full power. Before the king could make a move, Zayd ran circles around him. Nas appeared in front of the Mad King and performed her combo strike. Her punches came fast and furious, but the Mad King maintained his footing and blocked all of her attacks. She then jumped away, as Ryan launched a volley of arrows in his direction. But instead of the arrows flying directed at the Mad King, they got swallowed into the tornado that Zayd created from his incredible speed. When enough arrows were fired into the tornado, Zayd controlled when to release the arrows at his opponent. They came from many different directions, giving the Mad King a difficult time to sense where the attacks were coming from. He deflected many, but some got to him, giving him minor wounds. With his speed hindered, Nas jumped in and landed her fist right on the Mad King's jaw. His body dragged against the ground from the impact. He slowly got up, but he didn't notice Annabelle was now behind him. In 1 second, Annabelle's katana pierced through the Mad King's heart. He fell to his knees and his eyes slowly shut. Knowing not to let their guard down, the four warriors remained vigilant. Annabelle was about to pull out her sword, while Nas, Zayd, and Ryan slowly approached him. As Charlotte picked herself up, she saw the four warriors getting closer to the Mad King. She knew it was a trap and shouted for them to run away, but it was too late. Suddenly the Mad King grabbed Annabelle's right hand and her hand began to burn. At the same time, he released a dark pulse from his hand that struck both of Zayd's legs, rendering him unable to run. Nas attempted to land another punch, but he easily grabbed her arm. Ryan had his arrow aimed at his enemy, but the Mad King held Nas in front as a hostage. Ryan held his shot back, so the Mad King threw both Nas and Annabelle at him, knocking them all together. With all four warriors in close proximity, he cast a spell that had them bound in shackles. He walked up to them and held out his hand. The marks on the four warriors were being siphoned away, and they reappeared on the Mad King's body. Charlotte looked in horror as she couldn't comprehend what was going on. The Mad King revealed his malicious scheme. He had his agents of lies spread false stories that the legendary hero's soul was split into four. When Charlotte realized what the 4 marks represented, she had the look of despair on her face. The Mad King held out his hand, and appearing before Charlotte's eyes was his lost weapon, Desolator.